What is going on, everybody? We are back on it. Can't believe this day is here. House of Dragons, Game of Thrones, prequel series, however you want to categorize it as. I don't need to sit here and break it down and what to expect from this series. I'm sure you guys, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're watching breakdown videos and everything like that. It's been, when was it? 17, 18, something like that. We all know it if you watch my Game of Thrones videos or see the masses out there. We get it. Season 8. They let us down. They broke our hearts. They disappointed us. It is what it is. Visually, amazing. Storytelling, terrible. If you've been around for a while, Game of Thrones to me is the greatest thing I've ever seen or watched in any format, whether that be movies, anime, TV shows. Seasons 1 through 6 is peak, like 9.5, 10 out of 10 of just a watching experience. Season 7 dipped a little bit, but still good, 8, 8.5. Season 8, we just don't talk about. But I've had people stop and ask me on the street before if I'm in a Game of Thrones t-shirt. Like, oh man, what'd you think of that finale? Bad series. And I just say the same thing, like, I'm not gonna let one season like ruin the whole thing. To me, it was still an enjoyable ride. Um, I know a lot of people have differing opinions, like they're never going back to it after what they did. I have high hopes for this. I have a little bit of background information on it. I don't want to dive into it too much because, unlike Game of Thrones, what we're about to see is already written. It's already out there. You can find out what happens to all these characters, um, and the whole plot point. So I don't want to do that. So I'm excited. I'm going to upload these. We're just going to go with it. I know the Game of Thrones videos don't get too much crazy reactions, but Game of Thrones is the thing I'm most passionate about. Coming in second is Attack on Titan. So I'm definitely going to be recording these, so these will probably get less views, but I'm here for the discussions. I'm here for the back and forth. Feel free to watch and comment whatever you'd like. Let's just go ahead and get into it. I can't believe we're actually doing this. We're going to start with a watermark on here for the video. I never really have Game of Thrones problems, but for some reason, it's always years later. Like, I'm getting copyright strikes from, like, Season 5, Season 6 Game of Thrones stuff, like, a couple months ago. And then before that, it would be, like, Season 7 stuff. Just out of the blue, HBO, like, strikes it down. So, we're going to start with a watermark on it, see how it goes, play with that, chop these up. I don't know when I'm going to upload these. It might be Monday with Berserk or Tuesday. Either way, we'll figure it out. It's not going to affect everything else we have going on. There's nothing else left to say. Let's just do it. Harrenhal. Oh, wow. Of course. I mean, they're not going to vote a woman to lead. As shitty as that is, especially in that time period, like they're. Yeah, he didn't want blood being. Yeah. Was the dragons themselves. Yep. And that's exactly what happened. You hear that theme? This is I think this is the same theme that they played when Daenerys was sailing across. Yeah, it is. Was she sailing across to Westeros for the first time? King's Landing. So we've seen Harrenhal and King's Landing so far. Harrenhal is ashes. And I guess the current timeline. Everything looks so peaceful and prosperous. And a little joyful compared to how it I guess not used to be, compared to how it seemed presently to walk through King's Landing. The king seems so nonchalant, like nothing's a threat to him, a threat to them. I mean, nothing is. He's a guy in Morbius, isn't he? Morbius's friend with all the money? That's him, right? Look at the tree. Like they have. It's like they had the one they had in Winterfell. She can't. Her body can't keep. Her body can't keep up with this anymore. She might not even survive this. Like she might give birth and she might die in childbirth. And he's power tripping a little bit too. So like, are we just beating random ass? Do we have? I mean, are the people we're going after, we've had eyes on them for some time, or if you happen to be out this late, you're just getting ass beat? It's not one way to get the people to continue to love you and support you if you just go through the streets and beat ass. So within the first 20 minutes, we've lost 2 hands and penis. What are we gonna kill him for? We castrated the rapist. What was he beheaded for? The guy that's handed the king reminds me a lot of Tywin.
Our city should be safe for all its people.
He reminds me of Ramsay Bolton.
I just hope you don't have to maim half of my city to achieve this.
The king wants no controversy. He's not about any conflict. He doesn't want anything. Of course he goes for him. That's what he's from. He's the lizard in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. And he's in The Replacements, the kicker. And little Adam Sandler, Little Nicky's brother. That's what he's in. Okay. And he's also what's her name's dad in Harry Potter. The blonde-haired one with the Deathly Hallows. This is gonna be bad. He's not gonna kill his son, is he? Like they're just gonna. Girl. Okay. Well, I mean, what can you do?
Good luck, my prince.
What is this whisper shit we got going on? I mean, he does need to be put in his place. Something happened with the birth? I understand jousting, like, was the thing then. But I would have... Okay. Now this is just... gone to
We must either act now or leave it with the gods.
It's not even a guarantee that the child is even going to be alive. You might lose both still, honestly. What would you even do in that situation? Because even if you cut the baby out, there's no guarantee that the baby is even still alive. But if you don't cut it out, they're both probably going to die regardless. Ugh. And you have no connection to the kid as of yet, and it's been the love of your life, maybe your wife and all that. That's tough. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. Oh no. No, 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 no. This is gonna be fucking squeamish as hell. That's not a sharp knife, bro. This dude looking like Tony Hawk and shit. He just grinded that whole rail. Oh god. Damn. And she feels every single bit of that too. You hope she passes out just from the trauma and shock. And the fact that... Oh my god. Ah, the baby didn't make it. See, I thought, because I know I have the general idea of what the plot point of this series is. He doesn't get an heir, so the fight comes between these two right here, his daughter and his brother. Like it comes down between that. Golly, he chose to kill his wife, and the baby still didn't make it. His mental shattered, shattered. Oh, they're gonna tell the. They're gonna have the dragon burner and the baby. Look at him just waiting like a dog to give that command. His father can't. The father can't. The father can't do it. Daenerys never had one of those. Well, his mental is shot. It's crazy because at the beginning of the episode, you saw like he seems so carefree. Like they can't be touched. Nothing can get to them. He's over there hanging out and whatever is whatever. Now, I'm curious to see the turn his mental's gonna take. He doesn't look very cheerful and shit. What is this like dragon egg thing they have to keep putting in there? I feel like they've done it. They've they've given his brother every opportunity to show that he could and he can't. Yeah, we need to give it a second. But with how prudent everything is, and we know as a viewer of the Game of Thrones life, we don't need this man dying in his sleep and having no succession plan. We do need to address this. And they're speaking truths. I feel like Otto did a good job of like trying to place Daemon in positions to show and prove like, okay, he can't do this, maybe he can do coin. No, he can't do treasury, maybe we can do this. And it's just turned to a mess. And I think part of it is to see what he can do, if he can. The other part is to just show that, like, if something does happen and do we agree that he can't do this? Safe, huh?
I thought you might go to him. Offer him comfort.
In his chambers.
Is he offering his...
I wouldn't know what to say.
Stop that.
That nervous tick of her.
Glad of a visitor.
Is he offering his daughter as sexual comfort for the king's current...
Wear one of your mother's dresses.
He is. He's offering his own daughter to the king as... Now, I'm trying to see how he's trying to play this. Is he offering her to the king to just like, hey, you know, release some of that, you'll feel better. But also, hey, if you happen to get my daughter pregnant, and it happens to be a son... But good God, I mean, I understand the game he's playing and the show that I'm watching, but good Lord.
He doesn't protect you. I would. From what?
Yeah.
Yourself.
What are you protecting me from? You think I can't rule, is what you're saying.
You're weak.
Ah, yep. That's what it is. He thinks...
Council of Leeches knows it.
I hope he lasts through the night. Hope it isn't going to be another Robert Baratheon thing where, like, he tries to get Ned to be in place until his son is ready. And somehow we don't make it to morning to get that out there. That I've named her.
And his named heir, the Princess Rhaenyra.
Alright, so it gets out there. We still know all hell breaks loose.
Defend them against all enemies.
But it's good that he didn't die in his sleep. Or some shit like that.
Knight the realm against the cold.
Them talking about this in the long night of like what's to come
Aegon called his dream the Song of Ice and Fire.
makes me so upset that the long night ended up being one episode.
Passed from king to heir.
That shit should have been 4 separate hour-and-a-half long episodes with the whole entire Westeros fighting. God, I'm getting agitated thinking about season 8. Whew.
Promise me.
Long night was 45 minutes. But they all bend the knee. That Game of Thrones track playing in the background. Is that it? Oh, good stuff. I mean, that's just great. It's so... Like I said, Game of Thrones is the greatest thing I've ever watched, and it sucks season 8 is what it is because I know a lot of people, me included, I've never seen anything get the buzz that that got on Twitter or among my personal friends and family on Facebook, and like it was everywhere. Um, and just the anticipation and the hype and the deep diving in videos and everything was crazy. And I think it would have been crowned the greatest TV show ever. But what they did to season 8, a lot of people won't give it that, and I could understand. But just watching that was so great. I mean, the dragons, the gore, squeamish, the political back and forth, it's pretty great. So we got a lot of moving parts. I'm not going to try to dive into all of it now. Can't wait to watch a week's worth of theory crafting videos. Um, I mean, there's really nothing to really theory craft, because if you've read the books, you already know who survives and what happens in XYZ. So we see all the moving parts, and I think it's pretty safe to say that she's not going to end up queen, I think. So who does end up on the throne is the question. I'm trying to stay away from all spoilers to see how that goes. I don't know if it's going to be Daemon, if he somehow produces another son, because right now it's been pledged that it's her. Now I'm sure if somehow he decided to remarry in the years that he has left and pumps out a son, it's going to go to that son, correct? Regardless of what was pledged, or would it go to her? But then no, because then that gets messy. Because if it goes to her, and then she has a son with whoever she ends up getting married to, it's like which son? I don't know. It's all a mess. But it was cool to see his personality switch up, because at the beginning of the episode, the current king is just so hanging out and nothing's a threat. Like there's no reason to get worked up, and people think he's weak. Not weak enough to the point where decisions are made for him, like a Tommen. But like nothing's a threat to him. There's no care in the world, and he knows his brother is unhinged. And they try to give him these roles, but like this man can never be made king. What would he do to the kingdom if he was? So he sent him away. So I'm curious, I guess moving forward, like what is going to be the plot point? Without spoilers, does Daemon come back with a vengeance and try to take it by force? Does the king end up somehow spitting out his son, and then it gets even more messy? Or are all those people that pledged her, half of them decide, actually, you know what, I changed my mind? Regardless, I'm here for it's great stuff. The dragons look great. A lot of detail in the costume design. Like really, they're really pushing that like Targaryen look and the dragon accents and the red accents, and I think the Iron Throne looks 10 times better than what we got in the original series. And King needs to slow down. He's over here nicking himself. You're gonna get an infection and like Drogon and like Khal Drogo and die. I don't know what that like sepsis spot he has, or the little fungi he's got on his back. But all hell is going to break loose between the two, Daemon and Rhaenyra. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, this is the fall of it right here. Like the Targaryens fall apart because of this. And what's wild is like you still have the other queen princess there that lost that vote originally. So you know she's spiteful as hell. So right now we see the High Towers, but there's really no mention of the High Towers in the current story, is there? Not to my knowledge. I don't remember who had the last name Hightower. I know Tyrell. I don't know if that was like like that's what it transitioned into, or do somehow they get wiped out here in this as well. But we did see Starks. We saw Baratheons, Targaryens, Hightower, and I think that's pretty the major of they talked about people from Dorne, but we didn't get any Martells, I think. Regardless, it's just great to talk about Game of Thrones. We'll go ahead and leave it there. Let me know your thoughts, theory crafting. If you're not a book reader, what do you think of it? What do you think of episode 1 in general? I think to my knowledge, don't quote me on this, this has already been green lit for like 2 more seasons after this without even knowing the success of this first season. So they're just gonna go. I can't wait. We'll go ahead and leave it there. I appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, favorite, subscribe. As always,